There is a reason why your ex jumped into a new relationship, and it's probably not your fault. You'll see, I'll explain everything after the jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First of all, let's analyze the breakup and the dynamic of the breakup. It's essential for you to understand the psychology of your ex. What happened is that your ex assumed that she or he will be happier without you. And now they're assuming that they're going to be happier with that new person, right? They're going to compare, they're going to be like, I wasn't happy, I wasn't fulfilled, I expressed my needs, or I was scared, or my ex was too needy or too dependent, whatever. But now with this new person, everything will be magical and normal. This is why I think it's important, and that's why I did this video, this slide, to assess the damage of the breakup. Because there's a risk that, yes, that person will provide things that you couldn't provide. It's also important to assess the strength of the relationship. It's very easy to fall in love with someone if there's a lot of resentment and a lot of damage have been done, and if you didn't have enough feelings for the person you were dating, and therefore there's a risk that your ex might be falling in love with that new person if these are the case. So one thing before I move on is to take the quiz to know if you have a chance to get back with your ex, and I include questions about rebound relationship, and the idea is to really check whether your relationship is recoverable, because if it's not, what I'm going to say in the rest of the video will not apply to you. So with this in mind, let's look at a few things. Your ex suffered as well. Again, we are assuming that your relationship was special and that you have a chance to get back with your ex. So in that case, it was a very, very hard decision for your ex to make. Even if they took the decision, change is something human beings have a real problem to deal with. So they need to readjust to this new life, and we all have, and it's everybody, all have this reptilian response. So it's located in the amygdala in the brain, when change equals threat. Even though they decided to change, but experiencing this change is scary. Okay? They will never ever tell you that. Nobody will admit that. No dumper will admit that. But I can tell you, because I help people every single day, dumper and dumpies, this is what happens. And at a chemical level, you release the hormones of fear, and this fight or flight response. Okay, so they will be uneasy even though they took the decision. It's very important for you to understand you're suffering, they're suffering as well. Maybe, of course, not the same way, maybe not the same intensity, but they suffer as well. And there's always after a breakup this element of release. So I mentioned that in other videos. When you break up with someone, because there's some intention, you had this idea and it nurtured in your head for weeks or months, and once you make it real, you want to enjoy the time. The weight of the decision is lifted from your chest, sort of. And so they have this cognitive bias, like, I made that decision, therefore I'm right. People hate to be wrong, right? And this is often short-lived. So they have this confirmation bias, like, that was the best decision ever. And they have people around them confirming this. Their best friend, they was like, yes, he was a moron, or she was useless, whatever. And they're going to have this confirmation bias until they're hit by the reality. Remember, we assessed whether your relationship was strong enough. And you can't have or moving on so quickly without regretting the relationship if you have been with someone that was special in your life. There's always some resentment, always some regrets. That's what we're working on with my clients. We're always using all the assets that you created together. Even though they were damaged, maybe you've done, maybe you cheated on your ex. And this can be anyway recovered, depending on the case, because cheating is quite a big thing. Because we can use these elements of the connection, the intimacy, what you had, those moments together, the history. It's very hard to replace. And people hate change. Your ex will hate the change. And you hate this change as well. You hate it as well. That's why you're probably watching this video. But they should experience this release phase. So if you see them dating someone, you should not interrupt. They need that space. Because if you interrupt that space, whether they're dating someone or not dating someone, that's why you have so many videos about no contact, because they need to face the consequence. They need to also enjoy. So there's a phase of enjoying life. You have to accept that, and it's hard because you're completely the opposite after a breakup. But for them, it's like, yes, finally. Okay. When you interrupt this, you're gonna taint badly your image. You can very quickly shift to someone who's annoying, to someone who doesn't respect their space, and it will push back even harder. If you look at the grieving, the stage of grieving process, there's always this bargaining stage, and it's normal to go through that stage of not trying at all costs to bargain with the decision, with the situation. But holding too long can be fatal because you don't want to be again have the wrong image. The last impression is very important in that case. What about your ex's psychology? Life should be easier without you, right? Experiencing relief that's finally concrete. So this is what they're going through. I think my life will be easier. It's finally done. And then, this is where it's very important, and then they are facing the consequences. Life without you, not having you around, realizing that you were not that bad, realizing that you were a very important part of their life. Very often when people break up with their partner, they underestimate the amount of space or the importance of people have in their life. And you realize that when you lose them, even if you take the decision, right? So they potentially miss being with you. That's the thing, potentially. Again, we took the quiz, we know that we have a high chance of getting back with our ex. We know that our relationship is recoverable. And if you take the quiz, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who will not fall into that category. That's perhaps why I don't have a lot of views sometimes on my videos, because I really ask people to take the quiz in order to watch the rest of the video. And I think more than half actually of people, they don't fit the criteria. But they are too scared to change a decision. You make a decision, you're too scared for so many reasons, because they don't want to hurt you, they are not completely sure, they are confirming things. When you take a decision, you want to live with this decision forever. The thing is, your absence was so strong that they had to feel it with someone. This is why they are dating someone. Your absence was so strong. They decided, I can't bear with it. I can't be alone. I can't bear, reflecting on this, leaving the consequences of this decision. And this is great news, right? I told you I'm going to put a smile on your face today. The drivers and the foundation of this new relationship are based on your ex's desire on three things, main things. To cope with the pain, because it's painful. To distract their mind. They don't want to think about the relationship. They don't want to think about you. And therefore, if you're busy with someone, you don't have to think. It's mathematical. And to boost their self-esteem. Very often, if you date someone, even if you take the decision to break up with that person, you want to know whether you can still attract people, whether people can still have feelings for you, right? These are all bad reasons to date someone. So if you tell me, I'm dating that person because I just want to spend time and enjoy time. If you're aware of that, that's great. The problem is that your ex is not aware of that. It's very unconscious. When I tell my clients to date people, I tell them go with no intention. Don't think that you're going to fall in love. That's not the point, right? The thing is, your ex, I see that every day, your ex is dating someone and they think it's a great decision. Of course, they think it's a great decision. They think that breaking up with you was a great decision. Let them realize how wrong they are. And here's the simple math problem. This is all the things that your rebound this person doesn't have. They don't know how much you know your ex. It's impossible. They just met that person. They are strangers, right? They don't have the same history. They don't have your compatibility. It takes years to find someone you can really connect. Probably dated few other people before you met your ex. Probably you were married before and now you're with you sort of divorced and have a new relationship and went on a few dates and you found that person, your ex now. And you know, as a matter of fact, that it's hard to find someone like this, and the same for them. So it's mathematically impossible that they meet someone so quickly who would meet that same intensity. Again, we're assuming, I'm annoying in this video because I always remind you of this, assuming that you had something strong. If you didn't treat your ex the right way, if your ex wasn't the same level of intimacy or didn't feel like loving you the same way you did, what I'm saying in this video is totally irrelevant. This rebound is not you, so remember this. We don't care about how good looking, we don't care about how much money they have. They are not you. And this is why they have no chance. They have not a single chance. Very quickly, the honeymoon phase will vanish and they will start to compare. Okay, so they have this, I made the right decision to break up with you and I'm dating that person who is amazing. Because when you're on honeymoon phase, it's amazing. It's woo, rosy-dozy, it's amazing. He's funny, we do amazing things, we have sex, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you don't want to hear this, but that's true. But what happens, what is also true, is that at some stage, like, they're going to get bored because this honeymoon phase, especially in rebound relationship dates, it's fading away quite quickly. And they're going to compare. And this is why it's crucial for you to have a right plan of action. To be there when they're going to start to compare and become just an obvious solution. It's going to be obvious for them, like, I understand why I broke up with that person I was with. I love that person. It didn't work out. I tried with someone else. So it's probably not because of my ex. It's probably something else. And they're going to start to reflect and actually see things differently when it comes to assessing the person you are. If you treated them right, if you had feelings. What you should be doing now, and it's kind of a secret, not a secret, but something that I'm testing. So I'd be curious for you to test it and let me know how it works. It's sort of not a course, but in an interactive way for me to help you, because the problem with YouTube is quite linear. So have a look in the description. There's a link for you to access those videos and learn about the different plans and the different strategies that you can use and adopt if you want to get back with your ex if your ex is dating someone new. Let me know in the comment section how you find this thing. If you have any other thing you want to ask, don't hesitate to use the comment section as well. Like the video, it does help me a lot. Subscribe, do all these wonderful things, and I see you tomorrow.
For a long time, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.